to the track, and it sort of makes sense, Julian, because we know that they've brought, I think, more upgrades on that car than any other team, so they're going to want to get to work.
Prix and this outing right now, Ferrari were one of them. So they had a filming day test in Monza, tried out the new cars, and they stayed with them for this first foray onto the circuit here. Red Bull have done likewise. They had a run at Silverstone, and again had loads of new parts, including
the Macarena flipping wheel at the back, so we will wait and see if that is installed and ready to go on this car.
Have been well documented as having a brand new car coming here. The amount of upgrades, all the aero surfaces changing between here and more coming from Montreal as well. As Norris comes to the track, it's busy already, guys.
It is indeed. We have the Ferraris on the final straight before you get to the hairpin that concludes the lap. The last meaningful corner. It's a meaningful racetrack for Norris. This is where he had his breakthrough victory a couple of years ago. Oscar Piastri winning here, and it really turned the page on their Formula previous regulations. Is why we have an extra Friday practice compared with the morning.
No rush out for Aston Martin. What are they going to
do? Very minor tweaks to the Mercedes. There is nothing at all on Aston Martin.
New on the Aston Martin, so presumably they are holding it back, waiting for a bigger package to arrive for Montreal in a few weeks. At the front of the field, who are leaving themselves there as a relatively sitting duck and a target for all of those other chasing team upgrades.
And this is the defense, because they have the gamesmanship already happening, trying to find some clear racetrack this early in the session as you get eyes on Alan McNish. We've had a good gap, we've had a decent pace advantage over the field. If we can spend another 2 weeks developing these parts, like we're saying at the top of the show, that could just yield so much more lap time, can get away with it.
Yeah, totally.
A bit of flow biz on the wheel.
Which is why that car is scraping along the ground. The street, trying to learn with the
different read probably on the moves on the wing. So Piastri is continuing down the next straight with some weaving. And then he'll either pit in and they'll get photos of it, or he'll just carry on for the ride there. But yeah, interesting. He's going to want to open that. They're going to be really scraping the underside on the asphalt. Here we go with Oscar launching into his climb, so he does stay out. And we will see a short one back to there. Down towards the first bit. It is Oscar this time, into his turn one.
That gives you the indication that it's a more traditional lap, not a calibration lap, but we begin this 90-minute session and they're looking for combination of the data that they're seeing on the racetrack. It'll be data collection to start the session. We'll get more meaningful time later on as well. We have to be back in. We have to be part of the next 2 minutes of the flying lap for this.
George Russell just leaves the pits, and so does Kimi Antonelli. Some cars as well. Gasly, of course, very quick in the first part of the season.
Yeah, Gasly would not have expected to come into round 4 of the championship. That's where he finds himself. 8th in the championship, Verstappen will be the championship. Alpine, as we go on board with a Cadillac racing on home soil for the first behind the wheel.
an important weekend for Cadillac F1, not just because it's their first home Grand Prix, in the team's history, but it's also the first opportunity for them to bring sizable upgrades. They had some new improvements in Spain with their biometrics worked, but the amount, the size, the scale of the upgrades that came here, and I think more than anything, they need to see that progress. We'll be fighting for points already right off the bat. It's how we close the gap. from all the information we've got past the country. That's what this team's really focused on. And if they can see those improvements, it's a good sign.
So one team that is yet to hit the track is and they're the only team that is not this race. Now, I wasn't here at the beginning of the session, but when they ready to go. And
applying the power and getting a little bit of a loose rear end. He lowers the bar. The fastest time is now Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc. Now Carlos Sainz into fourth. Fifth is Lewis Hamilton. And Nico Hülkenberg, two McLarens in the top three. Oscar Piastri is now fifth. Team principal. And we think we see a GP, who race engineer, McLaren have made a bit of a habit of signing Red Bull top dogs, and they continue this. It's a candidate for McLaren, but a big acquisition for McLaren, signing GP. Isn't it? A big name loss for Red Bull. Do you even get on very well with the full-time world champion as well? Loads and loads of technical knowledge from McLaren with their experience as well in GP third job. As we see Pierre Gasly now getting on with a flying lap for the first time this session. Norris loved this place, didn't he? His first Grand Prix win was here in 2024. He didn't win last year. It was a great drive from Oscar. Fernando was in front of him on the grid as well. At that moment with Oscar. His reaction at the start of the session is really quick. Now Norris has the pace is quick to him. He got miles of grip at the back of the field in last year's FP1 in the first 10 minutes of this session.
And you know what's like in the street circuit. That track new regulations are followed. They're still trying to figure everything out. Those first few laps, the grip is down. The Defender is sidelined back. These drivers haven't really been in these cars for about 5 weeks. And what's so difficult for the drivers in this first session is how the goalposts move in every corner. Can you brake a little bit deeper? Can you roll a little bit more speed mid-corner? You're always adjusting, always kind of pushing the boundaries. More so than in terms of the delta, the difference.
I would say he's the track length up his own. The difference this year is Formula 2 of them, and they've had a practice session already, so they've just cleaned up the circuit compared to previous FPs.
I think that might be spot on. And just speaking to JPM, during the pre-show there, he's been chatting obviously with his son Sebastian, who's been out for that first Formula 2 session, right? And he said those first few laps were done. It was very, very slow, very low grip. So I think these teams are part of that.
Yeah, no, it's lock-ups and lurid slides. It's the telltale sign of a green side.